Picture a town long after midnight. Every shop is shuttered, every family asleep, and through the empty streets walks a single figure with a lantern, the night watchman. He does not tell you what to sell, or what to believe, or how to raise your children. He has exactly one job: to make sure that while you sleep, no one robs you and no one cuts your throat. Now imagine a whole government built on that one idea. A state that does almost nothing and guards almost everything. A government stripped down to the barest minimum that could still be called a government at all. This is the idea called minarchism, the night watchman state. And for 200 years, it has been one of the most seductive and most disputed visions of political freedom ever written down. So what exactly is the least a government can do? The minarchist answer is precise. A state may protect you from force, from being attacked, invaded, or coerced. It may protect you from theft and fraud, from having what is yours taken by trickery or by strength. And it may enforce the contracts you freely make, so that a promise between strangers actually means something. To do these three things, it needs three tools, and only three. An army to keep out foreign force, a police to keep the peace at home, and courts to settle disputes and punish wrongs. Defense, police, courts. That is the whole machine. Everything else that modern governments do, schools, pensions, healthcare, roads, welfare, regulation of trade and speech and morals. The minarchist strikes from the list. Not because those things are worthless, but because, on this view, they are not the proper business of the state. The phrase itself began as an insult. In 1862, the German socialist Ferdinand Lassalle stood before a Berlin audience and mocked his liberal opponents. Their idea of government, he sneered, would reduce the state to a night watchman, a Nachtwächterstaat, whose entire function was to stand guard against robbers and burglars, and otherwise do nothing at all. For Lassalle, this was contemptible. A state should uplift the working man, educate him, care for him. To leave it as a mere watchman was to abandon millions to the mercy of the market. But like many insults in history, this one was picked up by the very people it was meant to wound. Yes, said the liberals, a watchman. Precisely a watchman, powerful enough to keep the peace and forbidden from anything more. What Lassalle offered as an accusation, they accepted as an ideal. The idea was far older than its name. Its roots run back to the classical liberals of the 17th and 18th centuries. John Locke argued that human beings possess natural rights to life, to liberty, and to property that exist before any government, and that government is created for one purpose: to protect them. Adam Smith, better known for markets, described only a narrow set of duties for the sovereign: defense against other nations, the administration of justice, and a few public works no private person would build. The French writer Frédéric Bastiat put it most sharply of all. The law, he said, exists to defend life, liberty, and property, and the moment it does more, it begins to plunder the very people it was meant to protect. Different thinkers, one recurring instinct: that government is a dangerous servant, useful only when kept small, and tyrannical the moment it grows. At the heart of minarchism sits a single moral claim, and everything else is built on it. Individuals have rights, and there are things that no person, no majority, and no government may do to them. Think of those rights as walls around each person. The state may patrol outside the walls. It may punish anyone who breaks in. but it may never itself climb over. This is why the minarchist is so suspicious of the well-meaning state. A government that takes your money to feed the hungry, or educate a child, or build a hospital, may be doing something kind, but it is still reaching over the wall. It is using you and your labor for a purpose you did not choose. To the minarchist, good intentions are no excuse. The wall is the wall, and a state that respects it can do only a few things, but those few things it may do with a clear conscience. The most famous modern defense came in 1974 from a Harvard philosopher named Robert Nozick in a book called Anarchy, State, and Utopia. Nozick faced a hard challenge. The anarchist says, if every larger state violates rights, why not abolish the state entirely? Nozick's answer was ingenious. Imagine people in a world with no government at all. To protect themselves, they hire private protection agencies. In any region, one agency tends to win out, because people want the same protector their neighbors use. Step by step, without anyone planning it, a single dominant agency emerges, holding a near monopoly on force in its territory. And that, Nozick argued, is a state. One that arose as if by an invisible hand without violating anyone's rights along the way. The minimal state is not only permitted, it is the natural, rightful endpoint of freedom itself. But Nozick's book has two halves, and the second is just as important. Having shown that a minimal state can arise justly, he argues that no larger state ever can. His reason is a theory of justice in holdings. If you acquired something fairly, and it passed to you through free exchange, then it is yours. Fully, rightfully yours. And here is the sting. A government that redistributes wealth, that taxes the earnings of one person to give to another, is taking what is justly held. Taxation of income from labor, Nozick wrote, is on a par with forced labor, for it seizes the fruits of your work without your consent. So the state must stop at the watchman's post. Anything more, however popular, however compassionate, crosses the wall. The minimal state, he concluded, is the most extensive state that can be justified. Any larger violates rights. Minarchism has always stood between two fires. On one side stand those who say it does far too little. Social democrats and modern liberals point to the poor, the sick, the uneducated, and ask, what use is a watchman to a family with no food? Markets, they argue, leave millions behind, and a state that only guards property mostly guards the property of those who already have it. On the other side stand the anarcho-capitalists, thinkers like Murray Rothbard, who say the watchman is still one guard too many. If the market can make bread and build ships, why can it not also provide protection and justice? To them, even the minimal state is a coercive monopoly, funded by taxes that are themselves a kind of theft. Minarchism sits on a knife's edge, too small for the collectivist, too large for the anarchist. Its defenders say that is exactly where a free society should balance. And then there is the hardest problem of all, a practical one. Can the watchman ever really stay just a watchman? Even the minimal state must be paid for. Its courts and soldiers cost money, and money means taxes, which the anarchist calls coercion, and the minarchist must somehow justify. Some, like the novelist Ayn Rand, dreamed of a government funded entirely by voluntary means, with no compulsory tax at all. Others accept a small levy for protection alone. But there is a deeper worry. History suggests that states rarely shrink. A government powerful enough to guard the peace is powerful enough to do more. And there is always a crisis, always a good cause, always one more thing the watchman could usefully do. The night watchman state may be easy to describe on paper and desperately hard to hold in place. Every guard in the end is tempted to become a master. So why has this stripped-down vision survived, argued over in seminar rooms and pamphlets for 2 centuries? Because it answers a fear that never goes away, the fear of a government that loves you too much. Behind minarchism is a simple, stubborn intuition that the state is not a parent or a priest or a provider, but a hired guard, that its power is a loaded weapon best kept small, and that a citizen is a free adult, not a ward to be managed. Its critics say it is cold, naive, blind to human need. Its defenders say it is the only honest way to keep a government both strong enough to protect us and too weak to rule us. A single figure, walking the dark streets with a lantern, doing almost nothing, guarding almost everything. That is the night watchman state, and the reason its small light has never quite gone out.